Hey guys, how are you doing? My name is Lena and welcome back to another video. So, because I haven't prepared today's video, we're going to do a different one. I collected, I think it's 12 books that I really want to read during the fall. They are more like dark type of fantasies, and I think they are mostly fantasy actually. A couple of urban fantasies also in some thrillers, but yeah, let's just get started with these ones then. The first one that I have here is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Gadri Hendricks. This is the author of You Cannot See It, Let Me Grab It. So I read his book when it first came out on February, March, somewhere there, and I love this one. So I'm super excited to get to this other one. I've heard great things about it. I have a bookmark in here. I do. And yeah, I also really want to read Horror Store, which is kind of a horror store about IKEA or something like that. So in this one we follow Abby and Gretchen. They are best friends, but one day after an afternoon of skinny dipping, is that what it's called? Gretchen starts acting really weird. She's angry all the time. She's really moody. So perhaps she is actually possessed, and yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm so excited to read this one, and I think fall is the perfect moment for it. So yeah, I want to start this one so bad. I've been wanting to read this for a while, but I just didn't have the time. So yeah, this is going to happen for sure. Oh my god, the glow in this one. I would also really like to read Blackstone Heart by Michael R. Fletcher. I also have another book by Michael R. Fletcher, but I'm more interested in this one. We basically follow this man, and his heart is just been shattered into I don't know how many pieces, and he has to collect them in order to remember who he was. And he has to follow this path that leads him to these different fragments so he can start regaining his memory. And that sounds so cool. I love this cover. It just has something to it. I also think that this is a series, so there's going to be a continuation. But I'm just so excited. I really want to get to this one. It's just, I'm feeling something here. I feel something so cool, and I just love the trope of no memory. I just really like it. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be fantastic. But yeah, I also think that this path is going to be like pretty horror-y, kind of gritty. So fall it is. It's going to happen so badly. I would also love to continue with the sequel of Chasing Graves. This is Grim Solas by Ben Gali, and I loved the first book when I read it, so I don't know why I haven't continued with the sequel. I really want to go back to Araxes, and even though this isn't really exactly like a wintry, fallsy type of read, because there's a part in the desert, which don't really fall in my opinion. But still, this is kind of leaning more towards the kind of dark, gritty type of fantasy. So I think that it's going to be a perfect moment for me to continue with the series, because the concept of it is just so cool. And I've been following Ben Gali closely lately, and I really like him, so I really want to continue with his series, basically. In the first book in the series, we follow Caltro. He's a master locksmith, and he's basically killed the night that he arrives into this town called Araxes. And the thing that happens in this town is that the dead don't stay dead for long, because they are actually kind of revived in a spirit form, well, in a ghostly form, better said, and they are sold into the rich, so they basically become slaves. And we are also going to follow the princess trying to get rid of the emperor, and also a strange woman dragging a corpse through the deserts towards Araxes. I almost said Arrakis. The first one is so cool. The concept of this series is fantastic, so I really want to continue. I would also really love to finally read Dreadnation by Justina Ireland. I've been keeping an eye on this book since it first came out, but I haven't really actually bought it until I don't know, 1 or 2 months ago, I think. But yeah, this is a zombie novel set in, I think it was in the Civil War, I'm not really sure. I've heard so many amazing things about this book, even from people who's not really that used to the genre, so I'm just so excited for it, and I think I kind of want to start it now. But I will contain myself until I do my next TBR so I can actually pick it for real. But yeah, I just can't wait. I've heard so many good things about it. Also, I don't really think this book is dark, but in my mind, it's actually more of a dark fantasy. But we're going to go with it. This is The Kingdom of Liars by Nick Martell. I bought this one right when it first came out. I was super excited by it, but yeah, I kind of left it on my shelf for a bit and I kind of forgot about it. But I just really want to read it. The concept of this book is great. Apparently, the magic system is related to memory, which something, as I've told you with Blackstone Heart, I love when the premise of a book is related to memory. Memory and dreams are just two concepts that every time I see in books, I'm just like, we are going to read this for sure. Apparently, from what I've read, it's more of a traditional fantasy, but it has like this little twist with the magic system. So yeah, I really want to read this, and I've heard so many amazing things about it. Apparently, it's a great debut novel. I think it's a debut. I just really want to read it. We basically follow Michael. He was branded a traitor, and he was cast out from this country along with his family because apparently his father murdered the king's 9-year-old son. So yeah, that's kind of messed up. But now she apparently has the opportunity to prove that his father was actually innocent. So yeah, we're going to leave it at that. I think that the thing that is going to be the most interesting is going to be the magic system. But yeah, I'm just so curious about this one. It's also a chunker, but it's so full of it. It's perfect. This, I wish all books were like this. Then I really want to get into Aching God by Michael Shell. As I've told you when I hauled this a couple of months ago, I've been keeping an eye on this book for so long. I've been wanting to read it since I first heard about it, but I just didn't because I have so many books to read, basically. But I just really want to get to this one already. I think that it sounds so cool and it looks like it's going to be just like my type of book. So I'm super excited. Also, again, pretty chunky, but we're going through with it. So we're basically following Oric, and he's retired. He's just in the countryside living his best life. And so one day his daughter is kidnapped and he has to go and try and find her through this place called, was it the Banished Lands? The Barrowlands. And I'm sorry, so many common names lately. But he has to go through the Barrowlands, which is apparently a place of nightmare, and he's going to go with a group of inexperienced explorers. That's what I was trying to say. But yeah, for what I understand, it has like really weird magic and monsters and such, and I'm dying to get into this one. I'm just like, for sure, if I get fantasy or self-published or even SPFBO, because I will cheat and that's it, on my TBR game, I'm going to pick this one because I'm desperate to get to it. I'm so desperate. Then we also have a Declaration of the Rights of Magicians by H.G. Parry. I don't think exactly this one is dark, but it takes place in a pretty dark historical time, so I'm counting it, and that's it. But basically we're set on the Age of Enlightenment, and we have Robespierre being an illusionist, and yeah, it's kind of an alternative history type of book, but with mages, and I think is there other creatures? I don't know if there's other creatures, but there's magic for certain. So I bought this book right when it came out and I still haven't read it. So yeah, I desperately need to get to it. I think this one is kind of similar, more of its premise than anything else, of The Angel of the Crows, which I'm currently reading. And it has, again, that type of alternative history type of vibe to it. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I haven't heard that many things about it, but still, I really want to read it. There's so many books. Narrowing down this list was so complicated. But yeah, I really want to get to this one. Also, The Resurrectionists. This is the most complicated title that I have ever said. And writing this one is terrible. But this is by Michael Patrick Hicks. And I've heard so many great things about it from Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative and from Brad Proctor. So I've had this for probably 3 or 4 months already. Still haven't read it. It's super short, so I'm kind of ashamed by it, but I just really want to get into it. It's really Lovecraftian inspired, as you can tell from the tentacles right there. But yeah, this is more of a horror book than anything else, but I just want to read it. I have no idea what it's about. I used to know what this one was about, but because it's really short, I don't really want to spoil myself anything. So yeah, I'm finally going to read this. My god, it's been so long since I bought it. Then we have the Peaky Blinders book. This is Priest of Bones by Peter McLean. And I've heard that this book is just like Peaky Blinders, and that's the sole reason that I bought it for. I'm super okay with it, but I still really need to read it. It's actually a duology, which is still something that is still not that common, and I actually really enjoy duologies. I think it's a great balance between not having middle book syndrome and being short with your first book. So yeah, I'm just super curious about this one. We follow Thomas. He just came back from the war, and and he has to assemble his gang once again. Isn't this Peaky Blinders really? It's just like, it's literally the same premise. Apparently, it's really a full-on kind of political intrigue, so I'm super okay with that. You already know that I love political intrigue. It's just my thing. I just read The Traitor by Cormorant. What a book! Next week I'll be talking, or is it this week? I don't know. The next video is going to be me gushing about Traitor by Cormorant and Vita Nostra. Just as a heads up, but Peaky Blinders. Just like, I'm going to imagine like Cillian Murphy all the time when I'm reading this. I have zero trouble with that. So yeah, I'm just so excited to read this one. Also, I really want to read The Obsidian Tower by Melissa Caruso. I bought this with the immediate thought that I would read it right when it arrived to my home, but I didn't do it. Yeah, we have the Gloaming Guard Castle, and in this castle we have this tower called the Obsidian Tower, which was never supposed to be unsealed, because if whatever is inside it escape, it might be the doom of this entire kingdom. Of course, our main MC is going to open that door and release doom. Basically, that's what the summary says, so yeah. Did we see that coming? Of course, but I'm just really curious about this one. I'm in love with this cover. It's so gorgeous. I love this kind of more minimalistic covers. I mean, I love that one, but I really like these ones. But yeah, I'm super excited for this. For what I believe, this is actually more of a dark fantasy, so it's going to be my jam for sure. But yeah, I'm so excited for this one. I can't wait to actually read it. Then, the book that inspired this video. Yesterday I was just having one of those days where you don't want to do absolutely anything, and I was just laying in bed watching Twitter all day until I saw Luke Arnold. Luke Arnold decided to post a reunion of the Black Sails cast reading his book, because the sequel to this one comes out this week. So I was just like, what? Now I have to get on track and read the first one already. I had tried to read this a couple of months ago, but I fell into a slump and I couldn't finish it. I think I read like 50-60 pages of it. Well, I started it again yesterday after that clip, because yeah. So I'm just really excited to get back into this one and actually read the sequel, because it looks so cool. But basically, this is a more like noir detective story, but set in a magical world. I've heard this compared to The Wolf Among Us, the video game, and that game is fantastic, by the way. And mixed with Elia Noir, which is kind of the greatest combo ever. So I'm super excited for it. We basically follow this detective, and he is tasked with finding this vampire. Also, the cool thing about it is that magic in this world has died, and it's having this kind of consequences with all these different races. For example, vampires are no longer young, and they're just slowly consuming themselves. It's just so cool. But yeah, this is the book that inspired this. I just needed a reason to read it. Second to last, we have The Gone World by Tom Switzerlicht. I hope that I'm saying that right, if you are German or something from around there. But I read the prologue of this book. I said it the first time that I showed this one to you, and it was mind-blowing. So I decided to get the physical copy. This is basically set on the 90s. Yeah, we follow Shannon Moss. She is tasked with investigating the death of this Navy SEAL's family and also to find his missing daughter, I think it was. But there's something really weird with this book because in the prologue we have like people being crucified and then a shape and then she sees herself twice. I don't know. I think that this is going to be like a Blake Crouch type of book. Thrillers with sci-fi twists are everything. And the last one is going to be When Villains Arise by Rebecca Schaffer. This is book 3 on the... What is this trilogy called? Basically, the first one is Not Even Bones. I love this YA urban fantasy series. It's just so cool. The tagline for this series is Dexter meets Victoria Schwab, and I completely agree. I think that the marketing in this one was super accurate. In the first one, we follow Nina, and in this world, monsters are real and they are actually listed between dangerous and non-dangerous, and she is actually a smuggler along with her mother of these dangerous creatures. Her mother captures them and she cuts them to pieces so they can sell them on the black market, basically. Well, one day something goes wrong and it's Nina, the one that actually ends up in the black market of monsters. So, is that the name of the series, The Black Market of Monsters? It could be. But yeah, this series is super great. I love one of the characters from here. I don't want to say it because it's kind of a spoiler, but I just can't wait. This came out 2 days ago and I just already got it because I can't wait to read this. And the covers are just so good. But yeah, I'm just so excited for this one. So that was basically all. Those are the more kind of dark type of books that I really want to read this season. But please let me know which ones I really need to prioritize. I 100% going to prioritize the Resurrectionists. I'm going to 100% read What Villians Rise. I mean, I can't wait. But yeah, just let me know if you have read any of these books and which one I definitely need to read ASAP. So yeah, that's going to be all for today. I really hope that you enjoyed it and I will see you in the next one. Bye!